Hello. Good morning. It's just now 10 o'clock here in Austin, Texas. I have not showered. Today is my day off. I'm off tomorrow as well. I'm back at work. I've been going through a recovery for a back injury. But I just got the thumbs up and the green light to go back to work. So I'm now 3 days in to returning to work. But I'm off today and tomorrow, and I have some stuff that I want to get finished for fieldtoneaudio, some upcoming libraries. I'm already mid-production on them, but I'm wrapping them up today, and I kind of wanted to let viewers, anyone, into the production of a decent sampler library. Because on top of building libraries and creating products and tools for musicians to use, I also want to use this platform and fieldtoneaudio as a company to teach other people how to do this, because there aren't a whole lot of resources out there available for stuff like this. The ones that are available only go so far, and there's a lot of questions still even after watching those. There was a lot of stuff that I had to figure out on my own just through trial and error, and that led to frustration, which then led to, persistence and breakthrough, and just that whole cycle of hitting a wall, evaluating where you're at, figuring out how to push forward, breaking through that wall, hitting another wall, rinse and repeat. So I want to use my platform, my channel, my company as a way to teach other people how to do what I'm doing. So this is, oh yeah, Che, thank you so much. That was a really fun stream to do. I had a blast doing that one. Octaves is really sick. So I'm wrapping up production on a decent sampler library called Tele, which is my Telecaster. It's a guitar library. I'm planning on doing 15 patches, like 15 presets for it, and I have 6 left that I want to get done. So I figured I'd show a little bit of how the sausage is made, and hopefully it'll be helpful for people moving forward. So I'm going to show you everything, and this goes against like what most companies do. A lot of people are like, this is proprietary and I'm never going to show you how we do what we do. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make the decent samplers that I make for fieldtoneaudio. If you want to copy it one for one and do your own thing, I guess this is permission to do that. But I know how frustrating it is to want to do something and want to create something, and find out that you have to take a course that's behind a paywall, or you have to spend money in order to create something. Something that's very important to me here is that I will never put educational content behind a paywall. Never, ever. Because I know how frustrating that is, and I'm not going to do that to the next person coming along trying to do this. So you're going to see everything. You're going to see my code. You're going to see my routing. You're going to see everything. And hopefully it's helpful. If anyone has any questions as we're going, if you're watching live on the stream, feel free to jump in. And then if you're watching later on, definitely comment with any questions. Is Booga worth buying? Yes. Yes, it is. I love Booga. I'm actually going to be playing some music in the background as I do this, just like some subtle ambient stuff. And Booga is one of the big driving parts of that. Let me unmute this so you can hear what it's doing. So this layer This layer here is Booga. I really enjoy Booga. I just think it's super cool. Fine Rhythmic. I have not used that one. Dials is really sweet. I think I have Dials. I do. Dials is neat for a, you know, interactive filter that can just do a lot of cool stuff. So this is that there. But yeah, this is the Booga layer. And then kind of in context. There's that. Cool. Let's make some samples, shall we? Gotta automate Heimbach stuff? Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that you can do there. Okay, so we're gonna have I'm just gonna have some music underneath here to fill up space when I'm doing other things. Well, first, let me mute that because I'm going to show you the samples that I'm working with. This is my Logic session for sampling my guitar. I sample. What's up, Wonder Arp? How are you? These are all 3 velocity layers of different notes through the fretboard. So every group of 3 in here was, you know, round robin 1, round robin 2, round robin 3, and then soft, medium, hard, soft, medium, hard, soft, medium, hard. And then I exported all of those. So I have, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 notes that I sampled, 3 velocities, 3 round robins. So I think it's 126 samples total. And in developing this library and messing around with sounds and looking at storage sizes, I made the creative decision to not use all of these because the file size would have just been ridiculous. And I don't want people to have to consider storage space when they're thinking about buying a fieldtoneaudio sample library. So I made the decision to just use the soft layer of this library because I want it to be a textural library. I want it to be something that people can use for like ambient compositions. And I think just like a soft guitar is the right choice for that. Because if I were to include all 3 round robins, all 3 velocity layers of 14 notes, 126 samples, we'd be looking at like a 10 gigabyte plus file size for one decent sampler library, and that's just too much. So I'm really happy with the way that it's sounding with just that one velocity layer, and that's how my other libraries were made too. And they work great, and obviously I use them all the time. I made them, so I'm pretty confident in Martin. Thanks for subscribing. I'm pretty confident in that decision and happy and content with making that choice. But these are things that, like, if you're gonna make a sample library that you're gonna, if I was just using this for myself, like I probably would go all out, right? And use all those velocity layers and those round robins and just have like a deeply sampled guitar library for myself to use. But if it's something that I'm gonna be packaging and distributing and selling, then I want it to be as accessible and user-friendly as possible. So things that you need to think about with that are the sounds, obviously. Like, does it sound good? Are people going to want to use it because of the way that it sounds? But also storage space. So there's just a lot of things that you need to consider if you're going to be selling something. So I made that choice. And maybe eventually I'll do like a deeper sampled version of this and have, you know, these round robins and these velocity layers available. But for right now, for what I'm doing, I just wanted it to be that I wanted it to be easy to use, low storage space, Papa John's. So those are all the notes. And again, this is my own Telecaster. This guitar that I've owned for years and years and years, probably half my life at this point. I've owned this guitar and I love it very much. And yeah, it's fantastic, and I'm really excited to have that captured as a sample library. So I can pull up decent sampler here, and I'll show you what I'm working with, what I already have. Here, load that up. Put my files on the side. Always wondered how you make velocity layers consistent when making sample libraries, like when sampling a piano or a guitar. Must be hard. Yeah, velocity layers, I mean, so part of what makes a sample library genuine and authentic is the difference and the inconsistency between velocity layers. Because you don't always play an instrument, a piano, a guitar, violin, whatever it is. You don't always play it the exact same way every time. And you might think that you're picking as soft as you can, but one soft pick might be a 3 and one might be a 5, right? So that difference between the 3 and the 5, or you know, the harder you pick, if we're going through MIDI, Wiggles, thank you so much for subscribing. If we're using MIDI from, you know, 1 to 127, with 127 being the hardest and 1 being the softest, you want those inconsistencies, because that's what makes it feel more real when you're playing back a sample library. If every note that you hit was a 26 or a 90, you know, even if it sounds different, the velocity is the same, it's going to start to sound like you're going to get that machine gun sound of just hitting the same sample over and over and over. But if your middle velocity layer is like one's an 80, one's an 88, one's a 93, you know, those differences are what make it sound more real, and it makes you feel like you're actually playing an instrument instead of just triggering samples with a keyboard. So you do want there to be some consistency. You want like volume consistency. But for me personally, I lean into the inconsistencies because I think that's what makes it interesting. So I'm not too worried about everything sounding perfect, because even in my own music, not just with like stuff that I create for Field Tone Audio, I like it when things aren't perfect. I like listening to music where not everything's perfect. So I think imperfection can be a creative tool in itself. Bump down. You can see the top of my... I'm moving. That's what I'm... See the top of my tool. Okay, so this is Tella. This is the Field Tone Audio sample library that I'm working on. It's a guitar library. I'm super happy with it, the way that it is right now. Let's send it some notes. I usually just use Fugue Machine Rubato because it's fantastic. And it's on, you know, mobile devices as well as desktop. So let's just paint in some notes here. We can hear how this is sounding, just so you know where we're at, and then we'll make some more patches and code them and incorporate them, do all that good stuff. So I'm going to solo this. adjust some things here. Fix these notes so it sounds good. So this is the clean patch. This one's also going to be, this patch is going to be available for free in the Telefragments library. Which I'm really excited and happy to provide free stuff. Audible, what's up? How are ya? We take the envelope up a little bit. It's kind of makes volume swells. And there is built-in reverb within Decent Sampler. So if you don't have black hole, you can dial in some reverb there. So this morning I was already working on some EBO patches. And I just figured I'd go live and work on this. So this is kind of where we're at right now. There's an Octaver EBO patch, which is cool too. I'm really stoked about those. Those EBO patches, that's just these notes here that I sampled. Going through Archetype Gojira. That's just this. And this. This and that just spread out on a keyboard. We'll get to this because contact is involved as well. I use contact to kind of just map everything out, and then there is a script that Dave Hillowitz made. Dave Hillowitz created Decent Sampler. There's a script that he made that will convert your contact library into Decent Sampler XML code. So you can kind of just set everything up in contact, do all of your sample editing and your waveform editing, crossfades and loops and everything. You can get it all set up and laid out in contact And then using Native Instruments creator tools, you can run this conversion script that will convert it to XML for Decent Sampler. So I'll show you how all that works when we get to that point. After the stream, I'll update the description with links to everything that I use to create these libraries, because there's some really useful tools that I'm probably not thinking of right now, just getting started here. But there's some really useful tools like that Lua conversion script that will help you to be able to convert Kontakt libraries that you're creating into Decent Sampler libraries. So I'll be sure to cover that. And then I want to talk about graphic design too, the graphic design element of this. I use Figma for all my graphic design. So here's my thumbnail template. When I make thumbnails for streams and for YouTube videos, I use Figma. I used to be a big Adobe Illustrator guy, but I've jumped off the Adobe train, as many have, and shifted to learning free tools and free resources and free replacements for the Adobe suite. And I just really enjoy Figma. I think it's really easy to use, so I appreciate that. But let me show you my my UI templates for my Decent Sampler libraries. I have a I have all these boards set up in here. There's stuff in here that I haven't made yet, so if you see anything that doesn't look familiar, just ignore that. But I have this one, my 4-parameter Decent Sampler library template, and this is just where I make the UI for the library. So I'll set up, I got these icons made from somebody on Fiverr, and then I have just my backgrounds in here for all the instruments that I've released. So I get that all set up in here. And this part is really just trial and error, getting all this stuff lined up to then look how it looks in Decent Sampler, just lining up the knobs and everything. Figma is free. Figma, at least Figma for desktop. I don't know what they have on mobile, but Figma is free. And like I said, I used to use Adobe Illustrator, and I converted over to Figma, and I find it easier to use for what I do than Canva. A lot of people do this in Canva, and if you're already familiar with Canva and you know how to use it, then go ahead and use Canva. But I just really enjoy Figma, so that's what I use. And I'm pretty sure it's free. I don't remember ever signing up for a subscription to it or anything. So yeah, I'm pretty positive it's free. Don't quote me on, I guess. So let's take some samples now and convert them into notes and patches for a Decent Sampler library. You got the free version, but you can subscribe as well, I think. Okay, I don't think I've ever subscribed to it or paid them money, and I've been able to do all of my graphic design, and everything that I put out for Field Tone Audio is done on Figma, and I've never felt constrained or restricted in any way. It does everything that I need it to do. So, oh, Inkscape, yep. All right, this is our starting point. Let's turn that off. So these are this is the raw sample. Really quiet because it's the softest layer. And you can see here there's some room in here to trim this, but I'm not gonna do that. If I was starting at the very beginning, if I were to just start this over, I probably would trim this silence here. But my sample start point has already been baked into my Sublime Text code. Right here, it takes the, or actually, no, I do that in Contact. I'll trim the samples and get rid of all of that space at the beginning. And then right here, it shows sample start. You can see my mouse right here. That sample start point, if I were to change the start point of the sample, that gets baked into the code coming out of Contact, and then using the creator tools, converting it to the XML code, that start point, the start sample, gets baked into the Sublime code, Sublime Text code. So I could have edited the sample start point in here, but because I didn't do that, I'm not going to touch these, because that's already going to be reflected inside of here and inside of Contact. So I just leave these samples the way that they are, and then I'll come back and I'll edit that in Contact. But you could do it either way. That's just what works for me. So let's do some sound designy stuff, and make some patches here. So I already have 11. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 15 that I'm gonna have in here. There's one that I did to like some tape. There's one that I put through Little Altar Boy to like shift the formant. Yes, so I use the sound design and the audio manipulation I do in Logic. And then I'll take these once I get a source tone that I like, and I'll put those into Contact to map them to keys. And I'll trim up the samples as well inside of Contact and get everything sounding good, and playing properly with a MIDI keyboard. And then I'll use Native Instruments creator tools to convert the Contact instrument into XML, which is what this script is. And then that'll all come in here and play nice with Decent Sampler. Because Decent Sampler is XML, Contact is KSP, which is that's their own coding language. And you can come in here and edit, you know, a whole script in here if you want to make a Contact library. That's how you would code, you know, parameters, and you could code your entire UI inside of Contact using the script editor. And I used to have, before I decided on Decent Sampler as the platform that I was going to use for field tone audio, I was going to make Contact instruments because it's a pretty widely used platform. Pretty much everybody who makes ambient music or music, you know, most composers use Contact. I'll say that. And I decided not to do that because somewhere, some way, people have to pay for Contact, even if it's the free version. If you want your library as a developer, if you want your libraries to be compatible with Contact Player, which is the free version of Contact, developers have to pay for that to be compatible with Contact Player. If you're making a full library, then the user has to pay for Contact to use it. So somewhere, some way, somebody has to pay for something in order to make a contact library, which I understand. But Decent Sampler is just free for everyone, no matter what. So I get to offer free stuff at Field Tone Audio, and then Polar libraries are the paid versions of what I make. So, and Decent Sampler is compatible with mobile, so I use it on my iPad, and that was a big thing for me because you can't use Contact on an iPad. So I wanted to be able to use the sounds that I was making on my iPad because I use my iPad all the time, as we've seen on this channel. So let's jump back in here and edit some sounds. I am gonna put some gain in here so I can hear what I'm doing, but then when I export, take that out. I'll just increase the volume of these samples. There we go. Cool. So we already have a clean patch, taped, formant shift. There's one that I pitched down that kind of sounds like a bass or a bass 6. There's glitch, there's grains, there's reverb tails, EBOs, octaver. I have, in all of my Decent Sampler libraries, I have a patch called Destroyed. And I don't think I've done a Destroyed preset yet. That's this guy. I haven't decided if I'm gonna make a destroyed version of Tella, but maybe I should. Why not, Let's just see what that would sound like. Apparently this is a very involved channel strip preset because this is taking a while. I guess I also have Mastering Assistant on here, and it's scanning every sample that I have in. I don't know why I would have I don't know why I would have had the Mastering Assistant on for this preset, but there we are. Stefan, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in here. I hope your Raven release is going well. This is new to me. Decent Sampler for iOS. Yes, I'm building the sample libraries on desktop, and then they become compatible with Decent Sampler on any platform. So whatever I make in here will work on my iPad and my iPhone and anywhere Decent Sampler instruments are sold. We're just waiting for this channel strip preset to load. But I decided to load it up in a Logic session that has like 150 samples in it. It's taking its sweet time here. There we go. Let's see what a destroyed Tella would sound like. I mean, I've included destroyed in every library that I've made, so maybe I should just, in fact, let's do it. Let's make destroyed, because I think that's hilarious. So now that we have the sound, oh, this could be really cool, actually. Now that we have the sound, the next step that I do, highlight all these samples, and I am going to right click, and we're going to export 14 regions as audio files. So that's this patch, all these samples up here. And then it's going to come up with these export settings. So I've already named all my files in here. Each sample region of audio has a name. So Tele, which is the name of the instrument, A2, which is the note, Velocity 1, and Round Robin 1. And since I made the decision not to use all of the velocity layers and round robins, I don't really need those secondary descriptors, the Velocity 1 and the Round Robin 1, but I leave them in just so for the sake of organization. So that's the custom region name. So when we go back into these export settings, you already have the region name in there. So that's this guy right here, the file name, Tele A2 V1 Round Robin 1. Then I also add a custom filter to it. So you can come in here and slide any of these in, and it'll give you extra names within the file name that you're going to be exporting. But I really just want the region name and the custom name. So I'm going to name this one destroyed underscore destroyed. So this will be the full file name of each file that's going to export out of Logic. And up here you have your export destination. So this is just going to go right into my Tele textural guitar folder. So I'm going to hit export on this. Cool. So that's that. And now we have all those files inside of my folder. So here's destroyed. That's all these. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go into this right here, which is, this contains all of the presets and everything for Decent Sampler. I'm going to go to the sample folder, and I'm going to do new folder 15-destroyed. And then all these samples are going to go into that. So I'm going to click and hold that, hover over here. No, wait, hover over here, hover over here, hover over here, and boom. Now I have all of those organized into my file. So when Decent Sampler reads the preset, it'll pull the samples out of the proper folder for that preset, and we'll get to that in a second. So now we're going to go to Contact, and this is where this comes in. I'm going to go back to that folder, and I'm going to pull in all of the samples that we just exported out of Logic. And I'm going to start with my lowest note, which is a D2. Drag that in. There are ways to auto map, where it is, auto spread key ranges via root keys. So if I had my, I had my stuff labeled properly, it could just do all this automatically. Like I could highlight all my samples, drag it in, highlight that, auto map by a root key, and it would just spread it properly based on your labeling. But I have my own internal labeling, which makes it more of a pain for Contact, but it works for me. So I'm just going to stick with what I've been doing. So the lowest note that I sampled is a D2, but I am going to spread it down to cover D flat, C sharp 2, and C2. So some of these samples, most of them are pitched, but it's only across like 2 or 3 notes at a time. So we're going to change the root key up here to a D2, And then down here in the sample editor, we're going to click these plus and minus keys to zoom in. And we're going to edit the start point of the sample. And you want to get really granular with this. So you want the start point of your sample to be at the zero crossing. This is the zero crossing right here, this line. If we were to start our sample outside of the zero crossing, we would have pops and clicks. So let me hit this so you can hear that. Turn this off, and put the attack up. Oh, and you know what? That did not export properly. How about that? Cool. Let's troubleshoot. This is good. I want this off. And I actually want all of these on the track input and not on the master out. So I'm just clicking, holding Option to copy these over here. Great. Let's re-export those now that the samples should be correct. I'm going to delete these because those are bad. And then these new exports should be correct. For some reason, when you export the regions as audio files, it doesn't it doesn't use any of the effects that are in your master output. You would need to bounce the track in order for that to apply. But because I'm exporting regions of an audio track and not the entire project, you want your effects to be on the channel strip and not the master output. Great. There's all our samples. Back here, 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 and here. Now let me just listen to that. There we go. Great. Now let's go back to Contact. We'll do exactly what we just did. And Contact crashed. That's cool. Isn't that so cool? Okay, double click to make a new instrument. Mapping editor. Let's try that again. D2. We'll edit the sample. We'll go to wave editor. Sample endpoint. Good. And then sample start point. And I'll just hit the D. Make sure it's sounding good. I don't know what all that info is right here. It's not making a sound, so that's interesting. We'll just trim that out with our start point. we'll find that start point again right there. I want to show you what the zero crossing would do. So right now we are at a zero crossing for our sample start point. So there won't be a click. I'm so zoomed in right now that it's just getting crazy. Okay. So we don't have any clicks. Let's move it here where it's a non-zero crossing point. I don't know if you're able to hear it, but there's clicks. Which since it's a sound designed processed sound anyway, not the worst thing, but if this was like a clean guitar patch, we wouldn't want that on there. So I have my start point set, and now we have the D note. There it is, pitch to C, D sharp, D. Let's take the next one, which is an F2. Slide that in here. And you want to set your root key to F2. And we'll get the start point lined up here. Cool. There's that. Now let's get the next one, G2. Root key, G2. Get our start point. Cool, now we have a C major. C minor. And you can see right up here at each sample, if I hit C, you see this red marker up here? And that's your velocity. So if I really jam this, it gets up there pretty high. But if I hit it soft, down low. So if we were to have multiple velocity layers in here, you can edit this. So if you hit it softly, it triggers this sample. If you hit it harder, it would trigger another sample. But right now it's not triggering anything because we only have the one sample. But this is how you would do these velocity layers right here. So you could put another sample, you know, right here, let's say, and then we can slide this up, and that would trigger the next velocity layer of that sample. And you can do as many or as few as you want. I'm not doing any. We're just triggering the one sample. So there's that. And that's not even talking about groups. We're just doing one group. Your groups is how you would trigger round robins. So this first group here would be round robin 1, and then you'd do your velocities. Then you'd make another group to do round robin 2, and then another group for 3, so on and so forth. And then you would edit the group start to be cycle round robin or cycle random. If you wanted it to do, you know, you hit a key, it plays 1, then you hit it and it plays 2, then you hit it and then it plays 3. And it would just go through in sequential order. That would be cycle round robin. Usually you would want to do cycle random because then it would do like 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2. And that's where you start to get that more natural sounding sample playback, is when you cycle randomly through the groups. But my decent sampler libraries, for the most part, only have one group. So I don't need to do anything with groups inside of Kontakt. I'm going to click that. We don't have to look. Does Kontakt do aftertouch? That's a good question, and I actually don't know the answer. Because I don't do anything with aftertouch myself. Kontakt 8 might have aftertouch features, but I don't know for sure. Let's keep putting these samples in here. Our next one, See, there's a little bit of lag when I'm hitting this this key. But again, this is a sound designed preset, so I'm not too worried about that. Our next sample, so that was G2. Our next one will be A2. Change the root key. We'll change our sample start point. Now we can play a D. Cool. Our next one is a C3. Put C3 in here. There's our C3. Now we have a C octave. Okay, our next one is D3. Put D3 in here. Whoop. I just have my Nova. Okay, you can hear that click in there, yeah? We change the start point. It should go away. Yeah. So no clicks. Which is interesting because I don't think that's a zero crossing. There we go. Sounds good. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. Now we got D octaves. Let's do the next one. We got E4 here. Root key. E4. Right? No. I can't be right. F3 is our next one. F3. Cool. Then G3. Great. Then we have B flat 3. So we'll put that up here. A sharp. That's a little click at the end. I'll get rid of that. I can change my sample endpoint. Then we have a B3. That's the only single note in the library. The B3. There's some good destructive sound design in Crow. Oh yes, I was just watching the video about the making of that one. There's our B3. Okay, then we want D4. Great. Just a couple left. We want E4. And then we want G4. Peck TV. I missed that channel. G4 and B flat 4 is the last one. And B flat 4 does cover a couple notes in there. That's the highest I could go on my guitar at the moment without it sounding awful. So now we have four octaves of C, and this is our destroyed Tele guitar. So what I like to do at this point is kind of audition this through some of Contact's built-in effects. I'll put it through like a filter cutoff. Put in a reverb, of course. Contact's lo-fi stuff is terrible. But we can put in wow and flutter. The funny thing about Contact, which you probably don't realize until you attempt to create a Contact library, is that every Contact library that has ever been made can only use Contact's built-in effects. Every library uses one of these 4 reverbs, one of these 3 delays, these modulation things, tape saturator. If any Contact library says like expansive reverb or amp simulation or whatever, it's all marketing, because every Contact library can only use the effects that are built into Contact as a platform. You can't, like, you couldn't add black hole reverb into this, or you couldn't add I don't know, fill in the blank effect into a Contact library. You can only use Contact's libraries. So any place anyone is trying to talk about their, like, the effects that are in their library, it's all marketing, because it's all the same. Everybody can only use the same effects baked into Contact, which I thought was really funny when I started to learn about how to make Contact libraries. Okay, that sounds cool. We have an ADSR down here, so we can try out some we can try the attack here. Cool, so I think that sounds good. That's fun, a fun patch. Now let's get this into Decent Sampler. So now that we have all of this set up how we like it, I'm gonna pull up Creator Tools. And right down here, there's a couple options: KSP log, KSP variables, and Lua script. That's what we're gonna use right here. And I have one. This is, again, Dave Hilowitz made this. This DS export Lua. So I'll put a link to that in the description when I'm done with this this live stream. We just drop this in here and we hit run. I have Contact pulled up. Clear that. Oh, I want to click off of that. Now it'll read the whole thing. It should. Right now, this is only showing me D2, which is wrong. Let me pull that up again, because I think it only generates You want to pull it up when you're done with contact, when you're done doing this whole step, because now it'll reparse whatever is in contact. So we'll try that again. ES export Lua. Selected. And then run. Great. There we go. So now we have all of our samples in here, our groups. It has it perfectly mapped to what we're going to need this for in Decent Sampler. So you can see there's our sample, samples destroyed, tele.wave, volume, tuning. If we needed to tune it at all inside here, we could tune it. We could set the panning, increase the volume, and that'll all come out in here. It already has the MIDI root note map in here. So what do we have here? D2 is MIDI note 50. And it shows you that's the root note. It shows you the low note is 48, which is C2. And the high note is 50, which is that D2. And then, and those are the MIDI values of the notes that we're using. So then we want all of this stuff, right? So we're going to hit Command Option C, and that's going to copy it to our clipboard. And then we'll come over here to Sublime Text, and I am going to File, Save As. This is going to be 15 destroyed. If you were making them loop, the loop points would be included. Yes, anything that you adjust in contact will come out in the code down here for XML for Decent Sampler. So this will be 15 destroyed. So we'll have that here. And then everything in here I want to keep. The only thing I'm going to be changing is this groups, because that's our samples. I'm going to highlight all this and then Command V to paste that in. And now here's all of the samples that we just manipulated in contact. And yeah, so you have all your start points that we adjusted, the end points that we adjusted, the notes, the lowest velocity, the highest velocity, if there were any tuning changes, and then Matt, yeah, if there were loop points, which this one has it. See, it has loop enabled equals true, loop start. So this is the exact sample where the loop starts, where the loop ends, and then the loop crossfade amount. So that would be baked in there. So here's our destroyed patch. And let me talk about Decent Sampler XML a little bit. Because it looks like a lot if you're just looking at it right now. And it kind of is, but once you figure out what everything does, it starts to make more sense, and this looks a lot less intimidating. So inside of every Decent Sampler package for the libraries that I make, there's your presets, which are all these guys. There's your sample folder, which these DS preset files will read from your sample folder. And then there's images. So I have a white knob image, which I got from Web Knob Man. It is a free open source UI knob platform where you can come in and you can just find knobs and sliders and faders that are contributed by the community that you can use for whatever you're making. So if you click into one, we'll just pick this one. We're going to hit open with Web Knobman. And this brings up this screen where you can change all of these things. Let's say we want to change the color of this outer ring to, like, I don't know, red. Now it's red, and that'll be reflected over here. Or we could make it yellow. It'll show you that over here. Let's say we didn't want an outer ring at all. You can turn that off. Now there's no outer ring to show like a parameter value. but maybe you want that. So that's where you can do that. You can look through the other layers here and you can kind of click in and out to see what they are. So this is, you can see it updating over here. This is just like a shadow. So if you want that, you can do that. This is that top depth and dimension layer. So you see without that, it's kind of just a circle with a white dot, but with it, it looks more like a parameter knob. So you could change, you know, stuff about that as well. You could change the color of the entire thing. There's that white dot. You could change that. You could make it longer. So we could put this at a 20. And now it's kind of more of a line, not just a dot. Right? So you can come in and you can change any of these. So if you wanted to do like, find another one. Okay, let's look at this guy. Let's say you like some of these layers in this thing, but you don't like all of them. Let's say you didn't want all of these extra lines on the fader. You could turn that off. Or you don't want those lines on the actual fader itself. You can turn that off. You don't want the fader to have texture on it. You turn that off. So you want to change the color of, I can't even tell what this is manipulating, but there's things that you can adjust and tweak within this, where if you like, you know, some of the aspects of one of these, but you want to tweak it or remove them, you can do that. And then that'll export. So if you come up here, you want to export to PNG, and it'll give you all of the images. They call these film strips. It's just a really long PNG that shows every step of you manipulating that parameter. So the further we scroll down in this film strip, the higher up the fader is going. So that's what makes it interactive. So the files that I use and that I've kind of decided on for my decent sampler libraries, these guys, I really just use these white circles, and that's this. So if we really zoom in here, each one of these images is just the progression of the circle being turned. And if you were to make custom ones for yourself and just completely start from scratch, you would have to make each step of your parameter being manipulated and export that as a film strip. So inside of the Decent Sampler XML code, wherever you see these, where is it? Here we go. Custom skin image, images 2025 white knob for PNG. So images is the source folder. So this is what tells Decent Sampler where this thing is. So that's this folder. It knows to look in images, and then it looks for 2025 white knob 4, which is this guy. So it knows to find that. Custom skin frames. There's 128 frames inside of this film strip. So 128 little circles. So that's how you get, you know, did not mean to open system settings. That's how you get this being moved like that. There's 128 PNGs that it cycles through depending on how you manipulate this. And you see you adjust it by moving your mouse up and down. So that would be in here. Style, custom skin, vertical drag. So it knows that when you click and hold it and move it up and down, it's going to be, that's how you manipulate that parameter. And then custom skin image orientation, vertical. That's just talking to .png saying that this set of images is a vertical set of images. You could do horizontal as well if you wanted to, or not as well, but you know, you could do that. Then X and Y, this is what places your knob on the UI itself. So 55 on the Y and 193 on the X. So all of these are set to 55. So that's going to be your, vertical up and down. They're all on the same plane vertically, but then horizontally, or no, they're all on the same plane horizontally, but then vertically they're on different planes. So that would be the X and Y here. So that's how you place that image, is through the X and Y. And if I were to change these values, then these knobs would all move around. So the only thing that the XML file is reading and putting on the UI is the knobs. Everything else I created in Figma. So that's these. I have tone and the icon there, space in the icon, envelope in the icon, level in the icon, field tone audio, tele, the background itself. Everything that is not interactable, that you don't interact with, is just an image. So that's the background, and that's this one, BG image. So it pulls from the image folder, bg.png, the width and the height, and that is the background image right in here. So you can't touch any of these. None of these do anything if you click on them, because they're all just part of an image. But the rest of this speaks to the knobs. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat. I've kind of just been going off. Contact via the Lua script, yes, gives you your list of variables that XML uses. Yes, but it's only in relation to the samples that you edited within Contact. Knob gallery, LOL. GUI and workflow is probably 50% of a plugin. Absolutely. This is like web design. Yes, 100%. This is a masterclass on Decent Sampler. Thank you, Matt. Okay. What else is relevant in here? So, okay, so that's the labeled knob, which is this guy right here. Actually, let me pull this up in standalone Decent Sampler so I don't have to go back. Off the load recent. Cool. Now we have this, so I can point to these. So right here, labeled knob, binding type. This is where you tell XML and Decent Sampler what your knob does. So binding type is an effect, and this is tone right here. Level is instrument, and we'll talk about that in a second. Instrument, I guess I'll talk about it right now. Instrument level affects the entire set of samples. There are other classifications that you can have, and Dave Hilowitz has just an incredible Decent Sampler developer guide on his website, where you can look at what all of these need to be classified as and specified as in order for you to code a Decent Sampler library. So this is all available on the website. Huge shout out to Dave Hilowitz. I mean, if he ever sees this, dude, thank you so much for creating this. It's incredible. So that's that. Effect level or position. So this is important. These all refer to when you have multiple effects, they need to be in order. So this low pass, position 0, that's this. So this first line is position 0. Then reverb is position 1. If we were to go down and make another effect, you know, that would be position 2. This would be position 3, because it's all a 0 start point binary. My code is kind of broken. There's effects in here that I don't use, and they're kind of just in the code and hanging out. But if I delete them, it like messes with the code, and I haven't, or it messes with like the playback of the samples. I haven't really messed with those. So there, at one point in time, there was an effects drive and a drive boost and a mix, and I had a parameter for that to like increase a distortion level. I decided not to use that, but I just left this in here. So in a way, it is still coloring the sound, but I like the way that it sounds. So, and then parameter, effects, filter, frequency. So these are all just like under the hood stuff where Decent Sampler is referencing what it is able to do, and just calling on those lines of code and those effects, and that's how you do that with here. Okay, I'm such a horrible teacher. I hope y'all are learning anything from me, because I'm having a hard time describing what everything does. But I hope this is going well. Okay. There's a reverb, so that's where do I have that? Right here. Effects, reverb, wet level, and that's this parameter, this space. That calls this effect, reverb. Room size is on a scale of 0.01 to 1. What else is relevant in here? Minimum value and max value. So we could change the, okay, this is interesting. We could change the maximum value to be like 0.5, which would be 50%. And if we were to increase the 50, or if we were to change that and save it, then if you had space, the reverb maxed out, it would still only be 50% of what it could do. The thing that does the stuff is the best way to teach. I hope this is making sense, because this is like, yeah, once you get this, it's really fun. The max value of 1 is 100%. If we were to change the max value to be 25.25, then if you turned this all the way up, it would only be 25% of the reverb. So that's how you dial that in. Value right here is what it loads up as by default. So if you wanted your patch to load with reverb set at 50% by default, then you would just change this to 0.5. Okay. 0.5. And then when somebody loads up that preset, this would already be reflected here. Now, what's interesting, what I learned is, here's the clean.ds preset. Let's how do I show this? Okay, so right now, let me change patches. So this is how the patch loads by default, right? Tone all the way up, space all the way down, envelope all the way down, level all the way up. And we see that here. We have minimum value 0, maximum value 1. Value, which is how the patch loads by default, is currently set to 0 in the script. But if we change this, let's put it at 50. We hit Command S to save it, and I'm going to save over, I know this sounds scary, I'm going to save over that preset. Yep, I'm going to replace it. If we then, oh God, oh my God. If we then open, oh my God. I'm trying to show something cool. Where is Finder? New Finder window. Come here, please. Okay, let's go back there. Actual guitar. Clean. DS preset. So we put it at 50, right? Now it shows the value is 50. Wait, that's the filter frequency. We wanted reverb. Minimum value. Wait, what did I just do? Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is if you go into Decent Sampler and manipulate these and change them and save over it, it'll save that as a preset and it'll update your code. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. This code is per preset. Yes. So this 01 clean preset, that's affecting 01 clean inside of Decent Sampler. And then right here we have destroyed. So once we're done with this, let me get back to this, and I'll show you what it does. So right here we have our XML header. So we can get rid of that because we already have that. Get rid of this because that's just a note. We can get rid of this thing, Decent Sampler, because we just want this to be the groups. So everything between here and here, this is all the UI. The visual aspect of the right here, starting underneath UI where you have groups, that's going to be your samples. Then you have effects, and then all of this stuff down here that I don't use. So we could get rid of all these, and then you have your footer. So this is end Decent Sampler, this opens Decent Sampler, and then you have to have this XML version header top. So right now we have samples. So it's calling the sample folder, which is this, but then we want it to call a subfolder as well. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to find, and I'm going to hit replace. And we're going to do anywhere that it says samples. We're going to replace that with samples 15 destroyed. And then we're going to replace all. So now it calls the sample folder, the parent folder, and then it calls 15 destroyed right here. And then it calls the sample, which is these guys. So now if I save this and go to Decent Sampler, and I go to load recent and load clean, in our drop down menu, now we have destroyed. So there's the preset that we just made. Some Decent Sampler instruments do not work on iOS. Interesting. Some people do not test them on all platforms. Well, I do. Curryverse. What's up, PJ? That's my brother, y'all. Yes, I always verify that my stuff works in iOS. I don't know what would have to be included for something to not work on iOS. So I can't speak to that, but I make sure that my stuff does. Okay, let me open Destroyed again because I want that to load up differently. Chris, What's going on? Welcome in. I'm making decent sampler libraries. So I want destroyed to open with the tone open, space off, envelope all the way down. I want it to sound like this when you open it. So I'm going to save this as my preset. And I'm going to overwrite this right here. Hit replace. But now what we hear is there's no release. As soon as you click off the sample just ends. So how we fix that, let me close this because I want the new version. Slide this into Sublime Text. Up here in the groups, I'm going to add a value. I'm going to add release equals 2.0. And now if I save that, come here, hit reload. Now when we click off, there's release. But if let's undo that. Let's get rid of that. Save. Come back here. Reload. Now it's gone. But I want release. So I'm going to add that back in. I don't think it matters where you put it up here. I don't think there's an order. I think this just shows some parameters. Now we have release again. Let me make sure, because I think that might still be going. Yep, I'm going to turn off contact. Cool. That's that. Let's make another patch. There's destroyed. So now you just delete all this in contact because we don't need contact anymore. And we save that. I like to keep 2 of these up as like my actually I guess I really only need 1. 1 up. This is my template because I do save as. Okay, anybody have any questions? Where are we at? How's everybody feeling? I'm gonna go refill my coffee. So if you have any questions, put those in now, and I'll check them out when I get back. I'm just gonna refill my coffee real quick. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer any questions. I'm gonna turn this on. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Class, how we feeling? Well, I can mark off 15 now. The class has been stunned into comprehension. I need 5 more presets for this library. What should we try next? Turn all this off. No plugin. Actually, save all this. Now I have my destroyed preset as a instrument channel strip and not as a master out channel strip. I figured there was an easier way to do that. Ugh. Okay. Let's throw gain back in here. Mute that. That's just my clean starting point. Sometimes I like to go back into my older decent sampler libraries and see what I did in past libraries. Kind of get some inspiration here. That's neat. Something muffled and dark. Let's do it. Into that. This is kind of where I just go through all of my my plugins and see what's good for sound design. Things texture could be. Oh, that could be cool. Like a grain swell. What if we do 2 of these? Let's do 1 on reverb and 1 on grains. Oh, lost audio. Of course. Okay. I think there's something there, but we can come back to that. See what else. I wonder what a transient shaper would do to these. Don't love it. Interesting. Piano verb. See, and I try to avoid baking in samples with like reverb, because if you were to play a note or a chord with like octaves in the left hand and a triad in the right hand for 5 samples, you'd be stacking 5 reverbs on top of each other, which, I mean, sounds good to me, but it ends up sounding muddy and kind of gross because then the reverb is being pitched as well. And a lot of the times I feel like people are just going to put this through reverb anyway. So I try not to bake in anything with like delay or reverb, because I just by nature of being a sample library, it gets kind of weird. And then people are just going to put it through their own effects anyway once they use it. So try to avoid stuff like that. I say as I pull up a reverb. See, this is confusing because it's a left and right parameter, but you go up and down to adjust it. Ooh, isotope trash. Who's always talking about trash in here? Is it Wonder Arp? Does Wonder Arp talk about trash? I feel like we could get somewhere with this. Yeah, no, I typically don't bake in reverb. Unless the texture and the effect that I'm going for needs reverb. And like by combining them all as stacked layers, it creates its own cool sound. Then I'll do it, but the majority of the time I don't. I avoid time and space-based effects when I sample stuff. Some of these are just a little extreme. Maybe not trash. It was a good try. Oh. Oh, don't have those right now. Yeah, exactly. And I don't even know what plugin does. This is interesting. Okay. This is cool. Okay, it's like an envelope. Oh, Phase is a looper, isn't it? Well, it does some cool stuff. Oh, weird. My chat that I have on my screen through Streamlabs is not the same as what's showing up in the stream. I'm so sorry, White Rabbit. I only see. Why is it showing me that? Ah! Why wouldn't that show up in all chat? White Rabbit, I'm so sorry. How are you? I had it in all chat and not live chat. But I don't know why it wouldn't show me you in all chat. Man, I apologize. We are looking at I'm making decent sample libraries today. I'm planning on releasing some new stuff here soon through fieldtoneaudio. Dark granular industrial lo-fi. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, that is so strange. I literally wait. I had it on the wrong setting. I feel terrible. I'm sorry. What is Flash? Is this like a compressor? Whoa! What happens when you crank the output? Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, this is a transient designer too, huh? It's okay. I was just wondering. I had a feeling it was something weird going on. I knew it wasn't you. Well, thank you for trusting me. Yeah, I had it on the wrong setting. This could be interesting, like a low attack. All attack, no sustain. It's like little thumps. Okay, dark industrial lo-fi. So when I hear, those are three very different things. Dark industrial lo-fi. So my like filter, bit crush, tape is what I think for that. So let's try let's get the legacy filter in here. Bit crusher can get kind of weird. I just said lo-fi because you like it. I do like lo-fi. Or granular. I have kind of a granular patch in there already. think it needs some tweaking. Kind of glitchy. I think it could be glitchier. Yeah, it's not as glitchy as maybe I would like. Bit Crush could be cool. How can I make it granular without making it too time sensitive? The blob demands space. I want to take... There might be something here, I think. Let's take pitch out. Bring the spread down. Output up. This could get really cool. Turn of the blob. There. This could be really cool. Oh. I find adding distortion and short reverb can help if it's granular, only because I try to go for industrial sound. I love when delay is added and it gives it this wall of sound. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I could put it through Tidepool. Wait, where's Tidepool? What the heck? Hello? Save. I just reload Logic. Urgh. I think Motion Fractal's got some potential in it to be a really cool patch for samples. Especially for like a textural guitar library. Okay. Where are you at, Tidepool? Why is it not finding Tidepool? I kind of want to run the sample library into Tidepool. But I guess baking Tidepool in could be interesting too. We're approaching shimmer territory. What's happening here? Okay, I like that. Let's try that. So this could be patch number. Oh, we need a custom name. That's not a bad word, fractal. Motion. Okay, let's make a new folder. Oh, good. This can be number 9. Perfect. Number 9. As 09. Motion. Did a couple of hours of guitar sound design last night. Woke up this morning with it still playing in my headphones. I've been there. Kind of nice though, isn't it? It's kind of nice. Okay, let's make a new folder. 09. Motion. Columns. Oh, where did they go? Logic. Board him again. I think this is going to be cool. Okay. Hello. There you are. Sample. Ocean. Right. D2. Wave editor. Okay, so I kind of want it over there, huh? Did I just get extremely lucky and put it on a zero crossing? Nope, but almost. That's cool. I think it needs a little bit more gain. Okay. D2, F2. This is sick. G2. Just put them all at 6. Okay. That was G2, A2. What is that? Why is that there? Okay, A2. D3. Six. Okay. D3, D3. Woke up in the middle of the night trying to adjust a knob on my wife's shoulder. You know, some nights are like that. Honey, I'm just trying to adjust your parameters. That's E4. F3. G3. B flat 3. Oh, this is sick. B3. The purest note in the library. We're in the 4s now, yeah. D4. E4. G4. And B flat 4. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Do a high pass on here. Well, it hasn't gone through Lo-Fi AF yet, so, but I appreciate that. Good Lord. Okay, let's get that into Decent Sampler. Creator tools. Port. Run. And option C. Motion. And V. What are these? And replace. Samples. 9. Save. Wait. Here. There's motion. Listen to it. What'd I do? There we go. What happened? Oh. They're clicking. The samples are broken. Who is clicking? Who is it? Oops. I don't hear it there. I grew up near Chicago and my wife and I currently live in Austin, Texas. Oh, I didn't put a release on, that's why. That's the release. Now we should be good. There we go. Oh, all right. 4 more. I moved to America. That's where I'd want to live. Born and raised in Northern Ireland. Cool. I've never been to Ireland, but I have a few friends who have gone several times and they love it there. I'd love to go someday. Austin's really cool too. Yeah. Hope you're able to at least come visit sometime, America. Maybe not right now. It's not amazing currently, but in the future, you should definitely come check it out. All right, I need to take a break. I've been staring at the screen for, well, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes, but I was already doing some work before I went live. So I'm gonna take a break, maybe eat some food, take the dog out, and then I'll be back this afternoon. Keep doing some sound design and finishing up Tella. If you ever visit, can always meet up for a pint. Yeah, I'd love a pint. All right, yeah, I'm gonna take a little break, eat some lunch. I'll be back in a bit. Thanks y'all for hanging out. Yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. See ya.